Kent Spitfires moved to the top of Group B in the Royal London One Day Cup after a comfortable 6-wicket victory over Glamorgan with 38 balls to spare in Canterbury thanks to a 5-wicket haul from Doug Bollinger, who took a career best equalling 5 for 35. Mark Wallace batted after winning the toss, but his side's innings never really got going after Jacques Rudolph went the long way round and failed to slide his bat in to be run out by Callum Haggett. He was out for 5 in the 5th over before Glamorgan took 40 runs off the 10 overs of power play, by the end of which they'd also lost David Lloyd, LBW, to Mitch Claydon. It was 65 for 3 in over number 14 when Will Bragg on 30 was very well held off his own bowling by Darren Stevens. Jim Allenby was also out in the next over, Sam Billings continuing his amazing form in this competition with a brilliant leg side catch off Haggett. That left the Welshman on 69 for 4 after 15 overs, and so they were thankful for an important partnership between Murray Goodwin and Chris Cook, who batted sensibly over the next 17 overs, in which they added 77 runs for the 5th wicket to at least give their side a chance of setting something competitive. Bollinger had to wait until his 5th over, the first of his new spell, for his first wicket, Goodwin livid with himself for playing on after making 40. Bollinger struck again in his next over, bamboozling Wallace to bowl him for 4 to leave Glamorgan back in bother. At least they still had Cook at the crease. He went to a 50 off 80 balls, an innings including just the 1 boundary, but he did hit a second one to move into the 60s. He then angered Bollinger by pulling him for what was the only 6 of the innings to move on to 70 in the 45th over, an over in which Glamorgan brought up their 200. But it was also the over which saw the end of Cook. Having got to 73, he tried to clear the rope off the Australian bowler again, but found Fabian Cowdrey in the deep. Glamorgan then lost their last 3 wickets for just a single run. Stevens trapped Andrew Salter in front on 3. Leaving it to Bollinger to knock the bails off to remove Graham Wagg for 17, and then hitting the top of off 3 balls later to see the back of Dean Koska for a duck. Bollinger ended with 5 for 35, his equal best performance in the one-day game, as Glamorgan were all out for 209 in the 47th over. Michael Hogan again impressed with the new ball at the start of the Spitfires' reply. He had Daniel Bell-Drummond dropped at slip in his first over, a catch that really should have been taken by Rudolph, before Allenby did cling on well in the Aussies' next over to leave the home side on 7 for 1. In their last game against Nottinghamshire, Glamorgan tried to defend a small total and used the new white balls magnificently. Here, Sam Northeast and Ben Harmison soon had their side in control. They saw off as much of the fresh balls as possible, taking just 25 runs off the 10 overs of power play before picking up boundaries off Glamorgan's change bowlers. Harmison, only playing because of a side strain to Brendan Nash, was the more dominant of the 2 batsmen, making 43 from 50 deliveries in a second wicket stand worth 65. The tall left-hander was out, top-edging a sweep off Koska that landed safely in the hands of Wagg, but he'd given his in-form side an excellent start. Northeast fell with the total on 107 at the halfway stage of the reply. He'd made 33 when he was bowled on the cut by Koska, who was the pick of the visiting attack. Billings has been the star with the bat for Kent in this tournament so far, but on this occasion he wasn't required. Instead, Cowdrey went after Koska, hitting the spinner for this maximum, before Stevens took over. Both Rudolph and Lloyd saw deliveries fly well over the boundary rope, as the Spitfires all-rounders soon took the game away from Glamorgan, who were staring a second consecutive defeat in the face after they'd won their first couple of matches. Just 33 were wanted off 11 overs when Cowdrey departed for 42, not connecting well enough as he tried to hit Koska over the top, but found Hogan at long on instead. That didn't concern Stevens though. 4 balls later, he reached his 50 off 47 balls with his 3rd maximum to go with his 3 fours. He and Alex Blake then took their side home with comfort, Blake helping himself to a dozen runs while Stevens had moved on to 62 from 59 balls when the match was won courtesy of some wides from Salter. Kent are looking a very strong side in both the 4-day and 1-day games at the moment. They took this match by 6 wickets with 38 balls to spare, passing the victory line in the 44th over for their 3rd win from 4 Royal London One-Day Cup games, their other match being tied. They now sit on top of Group B ahead of their next game with fellow high flyers Nottinghamshire at Trent Bridge on Friday under lights. Glamorgan will hope to return to winning ways at home to Durham, also under the lights, on the same day.